Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's David here and welcome back to another video. Very excited to talk about the most, or at least one of the most anticipated role-playing games from Japan, in my opinion, being Dragon Quest III, the HD-2D Remake. So today what I want to do is I want to go over all the information that we currently have about the game. Spoilers, there's not much sadly, but still there's some interesting information, and I did a little bit of research and investigation to try and find out when I think this game should release, and I think it's closer than what most people think, so let's get right into it. But before we do, if you are new to the channel and you want more content on anything in terms of ATLUS or other Japanese role-playing game, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell as well, and let's get right into the video for Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake. So first of all, the game was officially announced during a 35th anniversary of Dragon Quest Celebration livestream by Square Enix, and that was on, brace yourselves, May 27th, 2021. So it's been 2 years already, and again, we'll go over all the information that we have on that game, but it's been a long time. And in that stream, there was a lot of cool announcements. There was Dragon Quest X Offline, which fortunately is Japan exclusive. There was Dragon Quest XII, next big mainline installment in the Dragon Quest series, was announced. Small teaser, and of course there was Dragon Quest III HD-2D, which was super exciting because back then you were like, oh my god, it looks great, and it looks like it's deep in development because you have all these scenes from the original. We know when you get to that point in Dragon Quest III because we played that game a long time ago, right? Well, in the remake you look at it and you're like, hey, they're deep in development. There was gameplay and all that stuff. It's not like Dragon Quest XII where they just went over the surface with a very small teaser, right? It seemed deeper in development. Hype level was obviously through the roof, still is for Dragon Quest III HD-2D, even more than Dragon Quest XII. Like on this day in August of 2023, there is more views on the reveal trailer for the remake of Dragon Quest III versus the reveal of the next big numbered mainline installment being Dragon Quest XII, and that to me is very, very impressive stuff. So let's start this video about everything that we know so far for Dragon Quest III Remake with everything that Square Enix officially said about that game. So during the original reveal, during that live stream that I just mentioned, there was some interesting information of obviously gameplay details and all that stuff, but in terms of the reveal itself, what's striking is obviously the HD-2D style. So the infamous HD-2D style from Live Alive, Triangle Strategy, Octopath 1 and 2, it is right here in Dragon Quest III HD-2D, and that's dope because before the reveal of another game that I'll talk about in just a second, that was the first remake using that engine from Square Enix. Previous titles are just original games, Octopath and Triangle. Then you have Live Alive, which is obviously a remake, and you have now Star Ocean as well, which again we'll talk about later on in the video. What else was announced? No release date, but they did confirm that the game would launch globally, which means that it is a worldwide release. Unlike Dragon Quest X Offline, we will be playing Dragon Quest III Remake in the West as well, and it's going to release day and date with Japan, which is awesome because if you've been a Dragon Quest fan for a long time, you know that it's not always easy to get the games here in the West, especially not day and date. So that is very good to see. That is confirmed. Platforms not confirmed. So in 2021, next gen was around the corner when they have unveiled the project, but no platform. So is it coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One still? It's hard to say. Nintendo's next system right around the corner as well, rumored for late 2024. We'll have to see if it is coming to that Switch too. Not confirmed for Switch either. I fully assume it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. I think those are safe bets. Xbox Series, Xbox and Square Enix, you know, that relationship is a little weird. Sometimes they get games, other times they don't. Like FF14 recently was just confirmed to be coming to Xbox, and that's great to see. So again, Dragon Quest 3, it's hard to say. I think Dragon Quest 11 did fine on Game Pass, so I would assume that Microsoft would want to pick up that game as well and strike some deal with Square. We'll have to wait and see. My bet at this point is Nintendo's next system, PlayStation 5 and PC. I think that is safe. Fingers crossed for Xbox as well. Now, the next bit of information now we got about that remake after the original reveal is January 1st of 2022. So a few months after the reveal. This is very small stuff, but still, it's all the info that we have, okay? So, obviously, producer of the series, Yorii, in his New Year wishes on Twitter, mentioned the remake of Dragon Quest III. So translation comes from Dualshockers. My sources are always in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. But Yuji Horii had this to say to his fans in his New Year wishes. Again, January of 2022. He said, quote, "Dragon Quest will celebrate its 36th anniversary in 2022. Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi was just launched last December, and it's quite popular. I'm really into it myself as I love puzzle games. I drew the slimes in that game too. In 2022, Dragon Quest X Offline will also be released. This is a remake of Dragon Quest X Online, so I hope even those who are uncomfortable with MMORPGs will be able to enjoy it." And then he mentions it. "We are still working on Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake and Dragon Quest XII and other projects. I also hope I'll be able to go scuba diving and play more Airsoft this year. I hope you have out a good one." So it's basically just a confirmation that they're still working on it. Nothing more was said, unfortunately. That is for January of 2022. Well, we waited 12 months, another year, but in December of 2022, we got more information, which, hey, is a little more interesting. So, again, comes from Yuji Horii, but this time he was interviewed by Famitsu, the biggest outlet for gaming news in Japan, and he was interviewed. Interview translation comes this time from Nintendo Everything. Once again, link in the description if you want to read the whole article. But Horii had this to say when it comes to Dragon Quest III Remake, quote, "We're working hard on Dragon Quest XII and Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake. I can't say much yet, but we might be able to deliver more news on Dragon Quest III soon. We're grateful that people are putting big expectations on Dragon Quest III too." So basically saying, hey, we love that project, it's still in the work, and we think we'll be able to deliver news soon. And that was 9 months ago already, so I think we'll get information very, very soon. Believe it or not, that is all the information that was given to us by Square Enix when it comes to that project. So they have been extremely silent with this one, very secretive for some reason, but I think when we see that game, we'll see it for real. Now, speaking of what I think we'll see and when I think we'll see it, let's look at Square Enix's release portfolio in the future and try and find what game is releasing soon by Square Enix and where could a Dragon Quest III Remake release take place, right? When can it take place? In the middle of these releases, after or before? There's a lot of stuff that is confirmed upcoming games by Square, so let's look at a few of them here and try and find a spot for 3, okay? So the next game is late September 28th. You have Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai, or Day. Sorry about my pronunciation here. So big Dragon Quest game, multi-platform release, September 28th for this year. You have to go then to November 2nd, which again is a game that I mentioned before, but the remake of Star Ocean The Second Story R, which is also HD-2D, is coming out November 2nd. Switch, PlayStation for that one. I'm not so sure about PC anymore. I'm sorry, don't quote me on that one. That game is November 2nd, so September, November, they have 2 releases. They have another release, which is again from their studios in Japan, being Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince. Nintendo Switch title releasing December 1st. So I don't think you guys will disagree if I'm saying it's not releasing this year. Dragon Quest III HD-2D is not going to release this year. We'll talk about when we can get information about that game though, because I think we can get something this year for sure. Now, in terms of 2024 releases, there is other releases than what I'm about to mention, but I don't think they're like safe for 2024, if that makes sense, like a Kingdom Hearts 4, for example. But I do want to mention Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is early 2024. We have no date for that one yet. We have FF14 on Xbox, as well as Dark Trail, the expansion. I don't think those would impact Dragon Quest III Remake specifically, so I'm not necessarily going to take it into consideration for when 3 HD-2D could release. So, same thing for the next release that I'm about to mention. Live service game, kind of like a Splatoon clone, Foam Stars, maybe you've heard of it. I'm not gonna take it into consideration either because I don't think Square will want to keep those two apart from launch, right? They are very different games, they gather to a different audience as well, so we'll see. Not much else is announced for 2024 though, so a release for 3 HD-2D Remake seems very likely to me in 2024. I think we'll see Dragon Quest III HD-2D before Dragon Quest XII, because 12 had 0 gameplay during the initial reveal in 2021, and Dragon Quest III had some, as we mentioned before. Solid minute and a half of gameplay, so I do think we'll see 3 before. I'm not expecting Dragon Quest XII next year. Again, for next year, as of now, there's not much in terms of RPGs by Square next year, so it is likely to me. If Nintendo's next platform releases late 2024, that would be a fantastic title to have on Switch 2 near launch. I think it would do really well. PS5, the install base will be bigger, so it makes sense to me as well. Now, when it comes to when we will get more information, and then I'll give my final prediction on where I think the game is and what's going to happen next year. Tokyo Game Show is in a month. Big show. I used to call Tokyo Game Show the E3 equivalent, but for Japan. So Japanese publishers, they're always there and they reveal big stuffs like ATLUS, Sega, Square Enix, Bandai. They like to reveal their stuff at Tokyo Game Show. So I think we can see something Dragon Quest III HD at Tokyo Game Show for sure. Makes sense. So that would be in September. Maybe they give us a new trailer, better look at the game, and a 2024 release date announcement. No date, just 2024. I think this can happen. That's my prediction. Now, there's obviously the potential for later in the year a Square Enix stream or a Dragon Quest stream of some sort, early 2024 as well, where they could give us more details, new trailer, and a definitive release date. Or there could be a potential Nintendo Direct in February, which Nintendo, they generally have directs in February, early in the year, to showcase the rest of their year for games. And I think there could be Dragon Quest HD Remake at that Nintendo Direct as well. I'm not talking about the September Nintendo Direct simply because I don't think with Dragon Quest Monsters releasing in December, I don't think they're gonna also show the 3 HD-2D Remake at the same Direct. So you showcase Dragon Quest Monsters in September of 2023, and in your February Direct, then you can show Dragon Quest 3 with a definitive release date. So I think once Tokyo Game Show's done, once we get to November, December, I think whenever they are ready to show it again, we'll have a date. That's my bet. Now, at the end of the day, it's Square Enix we're talking about, so it's still possible that at 3 a.m. At some point we'll have a trailer with a release date on a random Sunday, right? It's Square, they do strange stuff, so I am just speculating here. So let me know what you guys think about this one. Where is Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remaster? This is all the information that we have so far about the game. Not much, I know, but still. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Enough time has passed, though. I do think Dragon Quest III is right around the corner, and I'm very excited to play it. Are you excited as well? Make sure you let me know in the comments, and if you liked the video, a quick thumbs up really helped. If you want more content on anything in terms of role-playing games, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell as well, and we'll see you guys very soon for another video. Bye!